Motion to come out of exec session at 6:25.
I'll second.
Okay. Just a minute. I know it's. Okay. What's next?
Well, now we need to make a motion. This,
For your election time on this.
Approve the scheduling.
Yep.
Right. Is the election timelines on 6:25, right?
So I'll make a motion to approve the election timeline. Move that the special election is set for Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. The notice of special election will be published for 2 consecutive weeks, beginning next week. Voter registration notice will be combined with the notice of the special election and published for 2 consecutive weeks. Nominating petitions are due to the city finance office by 5 p.m. Central Time on August 21st, 2023. Election will be had. The Senate ballot will be published by August 25th, 2023. City residents may register in order to vote in the special election by August 28th, 2023. Election will be had. Absentee balloting will begin August 28th, 2023. And offered through 5 p.m. Central Time on September 11th, 2023.
Correct. Great, thanks, Travis.
I will second.
Let's see. Could this be fine to?
It doesn't need to. But it could be to be honest.
I
I think that's a great question. Let's have the vote on the motion. And,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Brian, you second.
Motion passes.
Linda has raised the question whether the scheduling order for election deadlines that carries a caption of the case approved by the council. I don't have a problem with approving this.
Maybe with the one change,
Okay, which change of that?
the finance officer,
Oh,
Well,
anything grant.
and actually, Sarah can do that by statutory authority, so
Okay,
Linda doesn't want to be defended.
Why?
Lacey is eager to have her name. So, does somebody want to move for the scheduling for election deadline that Sarah Frankenstein has proposed be submitted to other council and then submitted to the court for the.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Rock on. Those are next thing, right?
If anybody else does have questions on the election timeline, et cetera, Sarah is still here on the phone. If anybody needs questions answered that we can answer. The answer goes at this time.
I have a question. When do nomination petitions start?
Did you hear that, Sarah?
She's muted still. Hang on.
Oh, on her end, I think she's muted.
I think I muted myself. How about now?
Yeah.
There we
Now
go.
we can hear you.
Okay, that was my own fault. So you can start circulating petitions now at any time.
Sarah, can you unpack that for me? Because I was always under the impression, when I look at the election calendars that are submitted through South Dakota's municipal election calendar, that it's pretty clear that elections need to be publicly noticed before nominating petitions are circulated. It lines it out pretty clear in regular elections. And then when you refer to the subsequent ordinances, they clearly state that a notice of vacancy is issued. And I know there's no notice of vacancy in this election, but in order, when they talk about like in 913-9 and particularly in 913-40, there's a notice of nominating petitions. And then you choose to hold your election date, whatever the dates are. And then it always follows with the publishing notice. And then it says no nominating petition should be circulated until the second date of the publishing notice. And so I think, and I'm not an attorney, but I think the logic behind that is the public should be officially noticed that there's going to be an election before nominating petitions can be circulated, so all citizens have the opportunity to run for public office.
So in a normal election that's not truncated or expedited like this, that would be the normal course. You would have notice in your papers in 2 consecutive weeks. We will be doing that. That was part of the motion that was just made. But if you wait until 2 consecutive weeks of notification has been published in the newspaper, you've got a situation where, because of the nature of a special election, because of how truncated, how expedited it is, you're keeping people from taking the time that they need to circulate petitions. So when you have this kind of situation, you try to take the same kind of pro rata amount of time and squeeze it down into that expedited time period. So if you were running for county on the, let's say, Republican ticket, you get 55 days to circulate your petition. We don't have that kind of time to fit it into the statutory requirements by when we have to have this special election. So everything has to be shrunk down. And these kind of dates are entirely reasonable, especially now since this has been noticed. People have been notified of this because it's made the paper since the petition was actually filed back in May.
I understand what you're saying, but there still has been no formal notice of election. And that first publishing date is August 4th. So would it be reasonable that that would be the most accommodating date for nominating elections? Because then the public has been officially then noticed and all citizens have the right to declare candidacy with the same amount of time.
I think all citizens do have the same amount of time to circulate petitions. And no, I don't think that's reasonable under the very shortened time periods that are just part and parcel of a special election. So all people have had notice, whether it's official or not, I don't think matters, but they will be getting the same official notice that all people are getting. So I think it's entirely reasonable. Importantly, all the parties in the case have agreed to these dates or are unopposed to the dates. And I think it's the best way to move forward.
You know, Sarah, you're clearly, the most informed, intelligent person in the room on election matters. I do have a thought, though, that might help the mayor to align with the interpretation you're giving. And that is that until we have a candidate that has successfully circulated a nominating petition, we don't even know if there's going to be an election. And so maybe that supports the logic behind the proposed course that's being followed. I just offer that as a thought.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, yeah, this is a situation where the current mayor doesn't have to circulate a petition to be nominated. She automatically is, just by mechanisms of a recall election. She's already nominated. She already gets to be on the ballot. So it's just those who want to run against her in the special election that have to circulate the ballot. And you're right, if nobody turns in a nominating petition, there is no election.
Well, and to that point, without a public publication of notice that there's going to be a special election, or rather a notice of opportunity for election, how would any other citizen in the city of Baltic know that when it's time to start? And I'm referring specifically to the nominating petition and declaration of candidacy, because at the top of the form, it says that you're going to run in a specific election in Baltic, and it's notarized at the beginning. So anyone signing the nominating petition understands there actually will be an election. And that is usually stated formally and publicly in a published notification in our newspaper of record. And the first date for that is August 4th. Until then, the public has not been formally notified of anything.
That matters whether they're formally notified at all. And I think the city would draw another lawsuit against it if you were to further shorten the time period that anybody could be nominated against somebody who's already pre-nominated, automatically nominated to run. So I think that would be unfair, and it would draw liability for the city.
Well, I don't recall that this scheduling order of election deadlines did not include August 4th as the publishing date. That edit was not on the copy that I saw. So that's why I am raising the point. Because when I reviewed the dates, it included nomination petitions started August 4th. So I appreciate that you say that this is unopposed, but I believe that every citizen in Baltic should be publicly notified that there's going to be an election and they have equal opportunity to run. Because although Ms. Ingebrigtsen has expressed her interest in running for mayor, and I'm a default on the ballot, the rest of the citizens Baltic have an equal opportunity to put their name in the hat if they think that they can do a better job than either one of us. And the only way that's really done in the election process is through publication in the newspaper of record. And that's noticed as a best practice in all other election practices. So even though there isn't a codified law that dictates the process of a recall election, it is clearly noted that the best practice of order is to have it published so everybody knows what's going on. And then after that, nominating petitions are circulated. And that is clearly articulated in several state codified laws. So I just want that noted, that I am pointing that out.
I've noted everything that you've said. I disagree with you.
I
But I
respect
marked
your
everything you
opinion.
said.
I respect your opinion. I just wanted noted.
I noted, I've listened, and I've heard what you said. I disagree.
Thank you, Sarah.
No problem. People disagree that are equally smart and deserving to be heard. I just disagree with you on this issue.
I understand. I'm just trying to protect the city of Baltic from another citizen who has a right to run that has no public notice, but other candidates have a head start. That's all I'm trying to do.
There would be far greater reliability to shorten that time period of those who would run against the current mayor who's already pre-nominated. That would be what creates liability for the city. But I think enough is said on that. You won't change my mind or my opinion on that matter, but I'm happy to take any other questions.
Thank you, Sarah.
Any other questions from anyone? I think we're good, Sarah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Good
Sarah.
night.
Thank you.
Yep, bye.
You don't need anything else? I'll make a motion to adjourn. Sorry.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And
I think that was-
Any of us.
Oh. We're out then.
okay,
6:38.
6:38.
Thank you all.
Okay, 40 minutes. We did that. Good job.
Perfect.